Here's the wrestling news you don't want to miss. CM Punk calls out Kendrick Lamar and Drake. They are also set to finish their beef in WWE. Superstar is so tired of losing WWE matches. Sheamus never wants to face Gunther again, which seems very personal. Vince McMahon called a lunatic. You have to hear this one for yourself. Meanwhile, John Cena and The Rock want Vince McMahon back in WWE, and there's a new tribal chief. CM Punk calls out Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Tonight on WWE Raw, CM Punk made a surprise appearance in Hartford, Connecticut. Drew McIntyre had to leave the arena, unable to compete against Finn Balor due to medical reasons. Jey Uso took McIntyre's place and won the match against Balor. Punk then took the mic and called out McIntyre, who had already left. During his promo, Punk made references to Kendrick Lamar, Drake. Punk's promo definitely needs to be looked at here are some of the insane things he referenced. Number 1. CM Punk used Cody Rhodes' catchphrase on WWE Raw. On WWE Raw, CM Punk paid homage to Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, by using one of his famous lines. Punk threatened to hold the show hostage unless Drew McIntyre returned to confront him. Despite Punk's call, McIntyre didn't come back, prompting Punk to humorously consider asking fans what they wanted to talk about, which is a line associated with the American Nightmare. Punk also labeled McIntyre a coward for not returning to the arena. Number 2. CM Punk used a baseball term to describe himself. On WrestleMania XL, Drew McIntyre faced Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, with CM Punk doing commentary due to his torn triceps from the Men's Royal Rumble. McIntyre won, but Punk's distraction led to Priest cashing in his Money in the Bank contract, ending McIntyre's title reign in just over 5 minutes. On WWE Raw, Punk used a baseball term, calling himself a five-tool player, highlighting his versatility despite his injury. He contrasted this with McIntyre, whom he referred to as just a tool. Number 3. CM Punk referenced the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Popular rappers Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been trading diss tracks recently, and fans are loving it. It appears that CM Punk is also paying attention to the issues between the two artists, as he quoted Kendrick Lamar tonight on WWE Raw. Punk noted that McIntyre hates the way he looks, the way he walks, and the way he talks during tonight's edition of The Red Brand. Lamar had a similar lyric in his Euphoria track that was released last month. Number 4. The veteran suggested he will be at Clash at the Castle. WWE Clash at the Castle 2024 is scheduled for June 15th, and the premium live event will air live from Glasgow, Scotland. At Clash at the Castle 2022, Drew McIntyre battled Roman Reigns for the title, but came up short due to Solo Sikoa's interference in the match. It was also Solo Sikoa's debut on the main roster. Following Punk's promo, he approached the camera to deliver a message to McIntyre. He suggested that he could be hiding in a bowl of haggis in Glasgow if that is what it takes to get his hands on McIntyre. Number 5. Punk referenced the infamous AEW All in 2023 incident. All Elite Wrestling terminated CM Punk's contract following a backstage altercation with Jack Perry at All in 2023 at Wembley Stadium. Punk returned to WWE at Survivor Series 2023, but recently appeared on Dynamite as well. AEW decided to air the footage of Punk choking Perry on Dynamite last month, and WWE made light of it tonight on WWE Raw. During his promo, Punk referred to McIntyre as a choke artist. He noted that he was a choke artist as well and made a motion with his arm. Pat McAfee then chimed in and said guillotine, which was the chokehold the veteran applied to Jack Perry during the altercation last year. Drake and Kendrick Lamar finished their beef in WWE. In case you weren't aware, Kendrick Lamar released a series of diss tracks over the past few days targeting Drake, escalating a rivalry that's been brewing in hip-hop. The latest track, titled Not Like Us, was released on Saturday night and quickly became a hot topic among fans. In Not Like Us, Lamar holds nothing back. At 2:23 into the track, he delivers a harsh line saying, "Put the whole label on me, I'ma get 'em dropped. Sweet Chin Music, and I won't pass the aux." This reference to Sweet Chin Music, Shawn Michaels' iconic move, added to the intensity of his words. Shawn Michaels took to Twitter and tagged both Kendrick Lamar and Drake, inviting them to settle their differences in WWE, even offering his services to mediate. A little Sweet Chin Music goes a long way. Kendrick Lamar, you and our Drake are formally invited to WNXT to settle this thing. I'm even offering my services to mediate. We will have to wait and see whether Kendrick Lamar and Drake will take Shawn Michaels up on his offer and make a surprise appearance on NXT television one day to settle their beef. Do you agree with what Shawn Michaels had to say about Kendrick Lamar and Drake? WWE star is so tired of losing WWE matches. On Raw, Kai replaced Asuka in the Queen of the Ring tournament's first round due to Asuka being medically unfit to compete. Unfortunately, Kai lost to Lyra Valkyria, exiting the tournament. Kai, who turned 36 on May 6th, expressed sadness on X after her loss on her birthday. She re-signed with WWE in 2022 and joined the Damage Cottrell faction, returning at SummerSlam 2022 to a warm reception from fans. Despite this, Kai hasn't won a match in a while, with her last victory occurring on April 1st when Damage KTRL defeated Shayna Baszler, Tegan Nox, and Zoe Stark. Since then, Kai has lost 7 consecutive matches, including tonight's against Lyra Valkyria. Sheamus never wants to face Gunther again. On WWE Raw this week, the Celtic Warrior faced Gunther in a grueling match as part of the King of the Ring tournament. Both wrestlers fought fiercely, pushing themselves to the limit. Despite the match going into overtime, the ring general emerged victorious, leaving the Celtic Warrior battered and bruised. This wasn't their first encounter. They had previously faced each other on SmackDown and at Clash at the Castle. However, the Celtic Warrior made it clear that there wouldn't be a 4th match, expressing his exhaustion and the toll the match took on him, evident from his bruised and red chest. "There will be no part 4, he wrote. Since his return from injury, Sheamus has been on a winning streak. Despite being eliminated from the King of the Ring tournament, he has secured victories over Shinsuke Nakamura and Ivar. Sheamus has been vocal about his desire to capture the Intercontinental Championship, but with Sami Zayn currently holding the title, his path to the championship remains uncertain. However, Sheamus will have to wait until after the conclusion of the King and Queen of the Ring event, as Zayn is slated to compete in a match at the show. Vince McMahon called a lunatic. Back in January, former WWE employee Janelle Grant filed a lawsuit against former chairman and CEO Vince McMahon, alleging misconduct and sexual harassment. As a result, McMahon resigned from the TKO board of directors and vehemently denied the allegations, vowing to defend his reputation. On a recent episode of Legion of Raw, Russo expressed his belief that WWE has effectively erased McMahon from its history under new management. He noted a lack of mention or respect for the former CEO. "I use Michael Cole as the spokesperson. They just seem to have done and buried Vince McMahon. There is no mention of him, no respect. They are totally onto their own new thing." The wrestling veteran also claimed that Michael Cole may be pleased with Vince's departure because the former boss was a lunatic in their air during commentary. "I'm sure Michael Cole, more than anybody, is reveling in the fact that he no longer has that lunatic in his ear during every Raw because Vince was a lunatic in their ear. He was. I know he was. But he was the boss." Recently, Mr. McMahon liquidated his TKO shares. Even during broadcasts, he is not mentioned, and WWE has pivoted to usher in a new era. It will be interesting to see if Mr. McMahon ever finds a mention in the coming months. John Cena and The Rock want Vince McMahon back in WWE. On the same episode of Legion of Raw, Russo opined that very few people backstage may be missing Vince McMahon. He felt that top stars like John Cena, The Rock, The Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar would probably feel the difference. He pointed out that Mr. McMahon made them major stars, and they would feel WWE is not the same without him. They've totally embraced Vince McMahon not being there. I don't think there is one person in that company that has shed a tear for Vince McMahon not being there. Now, I think guys like Cena feel it. To some extent, guys like Rock, guys like Taker, the guys that Vince made, because they know, bro. Cena would not be a movie star. Brock Lesnar would not be a multi-millionaire. Those guys know that. So there's a part of those guys that like, bro, doing it without Vince around is just not the same. Stephanie McMahon also claimed this was a new era under new management and touted this year's WrestleMania as the first one under the creative supervision of the game. The Rock's daughter happy with a new bloodline. At the Backlash France Premium Live event, Loa assisted Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa in securing victory in their tag team match against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. During his tenure in NJPW, Loa was a key member of the Bullet Club, often teaming up with his brother as the primary tag team known as Gorillas of Destiny. Upon Loa's return to WWE, Ava reacted on Instagram with the salute face emoji. Meanwhile, AJ Styles and Tama Tonga share a history as former Bullet Club stablemates. Styles expressed his satisfaction with Tonga's WWE debut during an interview with Shaq Wrestling, revealing his desire for Tonga to join WWE earlier, albeit the timing didn't align. The former WWE champion is delighted to see his former stablemate from Bullet Club sign with the Stamford-based company. Truth be told, I wanted him, Tama Tonga, much earlier than he came, but the timing wasn't right. He came in the perfect time. He went from sort of the mid-level of a card to the top, and I love it for him. He's a good dude. He deserves it. I'm sorry. He doesn't deserve it. We don't deserve anything. He earned that chance to be where he is today. I am so stinking happy for him. So glad he's there. It's awesome. In 2024, the Bloodline expanded its ranks by adding The Rock to the faction, marking his return to WWE on Raw following WrestleMania XL. However, faction leader Roman Reigns is currently on hiatus after dropping the undisputed WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes on Night 2 of WrestleMania XL. There is a new tribal chief. Reigns has been absent from WWE since dropping his undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania XL last month. During his hiatus, Solo Sikoa has emerged as a prominent figure within the Bloodline, seemingly taking over leadership. The Enforcer has expanded the faction by including Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, while also excluding Jimmy Uso. Many speculate if Sikoa has assumed the role of the tribal chief, a sentiment echoed by Roberts on his Not Sam Wrestling podcast. Roberts highlighted a resemblance between Sikoa's version of the Bloodline and Reigns' Zane's previous iteration of the faction. To me, Solo Sikoa is the tribal chief here. When Roman Reigns was building his bloodline, he had two brothers watching his back, along with the wise man Paul Heyman. Those were Jimmy and Jey Uso. With Solo Sikoa building his own bloodline, he's now got two brothers watching his back with the wise man Paul Heyman, which are Tama Tonga and Tangaloa, except he got the Tongas instead of the Samoans, he said. Hikuleo, the brother of Tama Tonga, has hinted at joining the bloodline, especially after Tangaloa's recent appearance at Backlash France. Additionally, reports suggest that Jacob Fatu has signed with a Stamford-based company. It remains to be seen if more stars will be added to Solo Sikoa's version of the bloodline, making it an intriguing development to watch in the coming days.